JellyBean, whose real name is unknown, is a 17-year-old content creator from the United States who has come under heavy fire over these past few months for quite frankly no good reason. Sure, you could argue their content is a bit cringy, but does that warrant all the hate they've received? If you ask me, I don't think so, as every content creator has made cringe content at one point or another during their time making videos. If you say you haven't, I know you're lying, and trust me, I don't like being lied to. For example, I've been making videos for almost 9 years, and I know I've made far more crappy content than good throughout that time. In fact, I'd say I've only been genuinely content with my videos for the past year or so. After so many years of making videos, now is when I can finally say that I'm happy with their quality. However, the main difference between JellyBean and me is that I didn't have the entire internet on my ass harshly judging my content to no end. Seriously, the hate mob that has rallied against JellyBean is insanely massive and ridiculous. I can confidently say they're entirely undeserving of the negativity they've received. Although, as I'm writing this, it seems like the hate has died down tremendously, so perhaps you could see this video as a retrospective of sorts. But the real question I aim to answer is what or who made JellyBean a target for the online community in the first place? Well, I feel that the commentary community played a substantial role in the hate brigade against them, and this is what I'd like to analyze in today's video. So without further ado, let's start by covering the origin of the hate. It all started with a video uploaded by a small commentator named Soloko on February 6, 2022, titled "Why Don't Like JellyBean Small Rant." In this short 2-minute video, as the title states, Soloko covers why he dislikes JellyBean. More specifically, he calls them annoying and unfunny. Additionally, he criticizes their cult-like audience and takes a jab at the "it's not a mistake, it's a masterpiece" copy pasta that was going around a few months back. It was essentially the modern day hiss, or more recently, the Maximilian Muss "oh yeah copy pasta," and it was just as widespread as both of these. You'd see the JellyBean copy pasta in every comment section. It was practically unavoidable. So naturally, this became incredibly annoying for those who were unfamiliar with or disliked JellyBean's content. Soloko just so happened to be one of the first commentary YouTubers who made a video to publicly voice his disapproval of the trend and its creator. But as it turns out, even before this video came out, JohnBot198, another small YouTuber, uploaded a video titled "JellyBean Needs to Be Stopped, Comment Chaos Queen" on January 8th. In it, just like Soloko, John criticizes JellyBean's fans and the previously mentioned copy pasta. So clearly these two things were points of contention for many people, and understandably so, as no one likes an overbearing fan base. Hence why creators like Dream, and in this case JellyBean, are so damn hated. But even then, Dream's audience is a million times worse than Jelly's. We'll speak more about this later in the video. Although John made a follow-up video to his prior video titled "JellyBean Has Gone Too Far," which he uploaded 8 days after the previous one on the 16th. In it, he now criticizes how JellyBean decided to take it up a notch and prompt their fans to add the word jelly to the beginning of their usernames. Unsurprisingly, many of Jelly's fans did just that, further contributing to the hate surrounding them and Jelly. However, following the upload of these 3 videos, a whole storm of commentary videos shitting on JellyBean would come from commentary channels of all sizes. So let's explore this further. Soloko and John were merely the catalyst for the hate. The storm was only beginning to brew. When considering that their videos did so well, it made perfect sense why all of these other commentators jumped on the hate bandwagon. To further elaborate, Soloko's video received almost 150,000 views only a month after its upload, John's initial video was at over 52,000 a month after it was uploaded, and his follow-up video took off even faster with over 70,000 in a month. If these videos hadn't received as much attention as they did in a relatively short time, I sincerely doubt that this hate brigade against JellyBean would have been a thing in the first place. In addition, JellyBean served as a prime target for these YouTubers because of their insanely rapid growth on the platform. So of course, this first wave of hate videos was bound to do well, and it's no surprise that these commentators care about how well their videos perform. Plus, as aforementioned, they make content that most people find to be cringy, thus making them an even better target than they already were, since everyone loves to dunk on people they deem to be cringe. However, the first critical video of JellyBean to massively take off was titled "Why I Don't Like JellyBean." It was uploaded by The Beak 6 days after Soloko's video on the 12th. It's also worth noting that this is Beak's most popular video of all time, with over 1 million views, so that should likely further put into perspective how quickly the hate mob against Jelly was growing at the time of this video's upload. Anyhow, in this video, just like John and Soloco, Beak criticizes the quality of Jelly's content by labeling it cringe, and in addition calls him out for the out-of-control spam of the copy pasta we previously discussed, among other types of spam. Apart from this, other points of note include criticizing how loud and obnoxious they can be, and criticizing their lack of a backbone when they made a pedophile joke while playing Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach on stream a few months back. I need to take a second to point out how hilarious the clip of the joke is as you see Jelly's avatar moving around as they're saying the word pedophile. If you haven't already, I recommend you watch the clip as it's genuinely comedy gold. Regardless, this video swiftly exploded in popularity as a month after it was posted, it was nearly at 740,000 views, blowing Soloco's and both of John's videos out of the water by a long shot. So it shouldn't come as a surprise that with this video doing as well as it did, other commentators noticed it and JellyBean was now on all of their radars. This, my friends, is where the storm's full fury would emerge as hunting season would commence with everyone going straight for Jelly's head. The reward was a guaranteed hit video, and it's irrefutable that these commentators were all thirsting for that. Anyways, notable commentary channels that made videos on Jelly include Jaden, Achido, and Nguyen, among many others. It's worth mentioning that these creators didn't just make one video on Jelly, they made a couple, albeit not as many as I would have initially thought. Besides, not all of them were directly about JellyBean, some were about the JellyBean clones, but still used Jelly's name in the video's title. More specifically, Nguyen made 3 videos, Achido made 9, and Jaden made the most with 11 videos. However, I'll only focus on Jaden and Achido since Nguyen didn't make a video in favor of or against JellyBean. Instead, he made a video where he pretended to be a JellyBean stan, and 2 other videos where he went after the JellyBean clones, so those aren't exactly relevant to the point I'm trying to make. But Achido and Jaden were on 2 opposite sides of the spectrum. Achido, like most others, decided to criticize Jelly, whereas Jaden, to my surprise, chose to defend Jelly. I say this because I would have expected them to also jump on the hate bandwagon and make a critical video of Jelly, but it seems that wasn't the case, which is certainly nice to see. Also, Jaden has made some rather controversial decisions in the past, so I'm just shocked that they decided to defend Jelly instead of bashing them. As a matter of fact, this is one of the few times I've agreed with one of Jaden's takes. I just figured that would be worth mentioning. But let's cover Achido's video first, then we'll look at Jaden's. The video in question was titled JellyBean is Beyond Cringe, and it was uploaded on the 24th of February. As you can probably infer with a title like the one this video has, Achido just took a massive dump all over Jelly's content. And worst of all, he didn't even bother to wipe his dirty and crusty bunghole afterward. Shame on him, shame on him. However, with that said, I think he was a little too harsh in this video, at least by today's standards. It felt like I was back in 2016 watching a Leafy video with how hard he was ragging on Jelly, and it's made worse by the fact that Jelly is currently a minor. I don't think I should have to explain to you why dunking on a minor this hard is bad. In fact, that's one of the, if not the biggest reason why Leafy was so despised by many back in the day when he still made videos. Albeit Achido is only 10 months older than JellyBean, so the age difference isn't all that substantial. However, I concur that it would have looked significantly worse on Achido if he were a couple years older than Jelly. But age difference aside, not only does Achido rip Jelly a new one in this video, but Jesus Christ, he also goes after the poor and innocent little children that watch Jelly's content, and he doesn't do it lightly either. I say this is arguably worse in targeting the creator, who also happens to be underage in this case, since I don't think you can say that Jelly's audience is inherently toxic or deserving of such harsh words. Not only that, but once you make content on any social media platform, you're opening yourself up to the court of public opinion. On the other hand, I feel that viewers shouldn't be criticized unless they're problematic by nature and jeopardizing the lives of others, as is often the case with Dream's audience, for instance. That's my opinion. I'd love to hear if you agree or disagree with me in the comments. Nevertheless, I realized that what Achido said in this video were just edgy jokes, but damn, he really let loose. That's all I'm saying. Of course, I'm not trying to police his humor by any means, since I'm also a fan of edgy humor, and I'm very much in favor favor of people making whatever kinds of jokes they want to, so long as they're not hurting anybody. But still, I think he was a bit too relentless, even for my taste. But again, just my opinion, feel free to agree or disagree. It's important to reiterate that Jelly's viewers are kids, and kids like to watch dumb shit. I used to enjoy watching Tobuscus screeching like a banshee while he played Happy Wheels when I was about 10 or 11 years old, so I can't exactly say that I had a refined taste in media by any means. Ultimately, the point is that a Cheeto didn't have to rip these kids apart for enjoying the kind of content that JellyBean makes. I'm willing to bet a Cheeto was an Annoying Orange fan as a kid, and that content wasn't exactly a work of art. If any of you watched the Annoying Orange Cartoon Network show when you were kids, please drop a like on this video for me, thank you very much. I'm also willing to bet that a Cheeto made cringy YouTube videos sometime during his content creation career. You'd be hard pressed to find someone who's never made a single cringe piece of content during their time making videos, as I mentioned during this video's introduction, and a Cheeto is undoubtedly no exception. Regardless, when scrolling through the comments section of this video, I was shocked to see how divided it was, with many agreeing with the Cheeto's takes and many others disagreeing, some of which weren't even JellyBean fans. Despite that, one of the top comments perfectly encapsulates my feelings towards this video. Grim the Sped said, "To be clear, I really don't like JellyBean, but you are the epitome of every commentator channel on this website." I couldn't agree more with what Grim said in their comment. It seems like many others were also in agreement, as a Cheeto helped cement the stereotype many viewers have about commentary channels by making this video. He further perpetuated the stigma that all commentators are toxic assholes with no regards for the individuals they choose to target in their videos. Although, to be fair and give him some credit where credit is due, a Cheeto and JellyBean made up in the end. In a video titled "Me and JellyBean Are Cool Now," uploaded on March 3rd, he discussed that the two of them had a Discord call in which they talked things out. Interestingly enough, a Cheeto said that Jelly didn't take the video to heart and wasn't offended by it in the slightest. Quite the contrary, Jelly found it funny and said that some of the criticism was valid, which is good to see. JellyBean doesn't seem to be a snowflake. In fact, they seem to be relatively tough-skinned and fine with taking hate from the internet, since otherwise, I feel like they would have already quit making content entirely, but we'll touch more on this later. However, in recent times, a Cheeto and JellyBean met up at VidCon, so it seems like we truly got the good ending where they don't hate each other's guts. So while I may disagree with the way a Cheeto handled himself in his initial video, I can certainly respect that he isn't a petty piece of shit and was able to work out his differences with JellyBean. So props to you, man, if you happen to be watching this video. Anyways, let's shift our focus to Jaden's initial video on Jelly. The video was titled "The JellyBean Drama is Stupid," and it was uploaded a day before Cheeto's first video on the 23rd. So naturally, as you can probably expect with a title like the one this video has, Jaden defends Jelly and says that all of the points against them are incredibly minute, which I agree with. The only criticism that Jaden agreed with in this video was the one regarding the pedophile joke we covered earlier in this video, but apart from that, he disagreed with every single one of them. Although, Jaden showed some pretty damning and telling evidence in a follow-up video that gives us more insight into why the commentary community went after JellyBean as hard as they did. The video was titled "JellyBean Got Exposed," and it was uploaded 3 days later on the 26th. In the first 30 seconds of this video, Jaden shows a screenshot of a Discord message sent to them by another commentary YouTuber, whose name has been removed from the screenshot, saying, "Hey, hope you're doing okay. Just wanted to let you know, saw your video on JellyBean and I saw you included my video, which is pretty cash money. But there's no JellyBean drama. Me and Beak just wanted some 2016 videos. We don't not like her, there is no drama. Obviously, I'm not mad or annoyed, don't want you to think I'm raging right now. Lol." The message I just read reveals that these commentators entirely fabricated and bolstered the mass hysteria surrounding JellyBean. These videos weren't made to criticize Jelly legitimately. Instead, they seem to have been made with the sole intention of stirring the pot and getting a new trend going on the platform to benefit the growth of their channels, at least for Beak and the commentator in question who sent this message to Jaden. The line, "Me and Beak just wanted some 2016 videos," particularly stood out to me, as it certainly felt that way with most videos I watched about JellyBean. They all went really hard on Jelly for no valid reason. They were very much reminiscent of the 2016 era on YouTube, where everyone could say whatever the hell they wanted to about anyone, regardless of whether they were a child or not. Boundaries were essentially non-existent, and neither was cancel culture, so people like Leafy got away with their questionable and often toxic behavior. Admittedly, most people liked this kind of content back then, myself included, and it was considered socially acceptable for individuals to harp harp on a kid for YouTube content. Therefore, few people voiced their concerns against this content back in the day, and even if they did, they'd get shit on to no end since no one agreed with them. But we're not in the same online environment nowadays. Everything is a lot more PC now, so these videos aren't exactly everyone's cup of tea. Regardless, the only other time I've recently seen the commentary community target a sole creator this much was when they were ripping Tommy into shreds for no good reason either. But even then, I think Jelly has faced much more backlash than Tommy ever did. However, now that we've established that the commentary community made JellyBean such a prominent target on YouTube, I'd like to wrap this video up by addressing how JellyBean has responded to all of this. So let's delve deeper. What's most interesting and shocking to me about this whole ordeal is how maturely JellyBean has responded to all of it, especially for their age. Time and time again, we've seen poor responses from creators that have faced much scrutiny inevitably lead to their downfalls, and in this case, Jelly has responded much better than many others have. They've taken it all with such grace, and it's impressive because I've lost count of the number of times I've seen YouTubers get confrontational with their detractors, which is always a sad sight to see, as feeding into them only further fuels them. I say this because Jelly could have easily become bitter due to all of this and lashed out at their critics and haters, but instead they chose to push through the adversity and even become self-aware of the hate being thrown their way. To further elaborate, on June 15th, Jelly uploaded a YouTube short titled JellyBean Haters Rise Up. In it, they decided to attempt to break a world record by using their haters and fans alike to dislike bomb the hell out of the short in question. This is honestly quite genius, and it shows that Jelly isn't affected by the hate in the slightest, but is instead seeking to capitalize on it. However, apart from this video, there was another one in the same vein, uploaded a few months prior on the 26th of April. The short I'm referring to was titled I Hate JellyBean. In it, Jelly decides to read some wholesome comments. But the twist is that instead of responding appreciatively to these comments, Jelly self-deprecates and roasts some of the people who said these kind words about them. Again, this is another clever move, and it's made even more clever because the hate train was at its peak around the time of this video's upload. These two videos prove to the haters that Jelly didn't give a flying fuck about what they had to say, and I applaud that sort of behavior. It shows that Jelly does in fact have a spine, and even though they had the entire internet harping on them, they still came out on top regardless. I wish more creators were like JellyBean in that sense. Dream SMP members, take notes. You got a lot to learn. Anyhow, with all that said and done, let's wrap this video up. In conclusion, JellyBean may not be the world's greatest content creator, but I think it's inarguable that the hate they received was nothing but overkill. I've seen other creators much more deserving of this amount of criticism that haven't gotten it, and it feels unfair that JellyBean did instead of them. As we concluded in this video, the commentary community played a significant role in making events occur as they did. Had it not been for them, I don't think JellyBean would have been attacked as much as they were. I'm sure that Soloco and John never thought their initial critique videos would create such a large domino effect throughout the commentary community. It was just video after video on Jelly. They would keep getting pumped out like no tomorrow. If I had taken the time to cover every commentator who made a video on Jelly, we would have been here all day, as there's just so much to explore. But luckily, Jelly is a creator, unlike many others, that can willingly take all of the shit that's been sent their way. Otherwise, I could have easily seen them quit content creation altogether, especially considering that some people even went as far as to dox them and their family. Jelly sought to capitalize on all of this negativity, and they sure as hell did, since it ultimately led to further growing their social media. All of the videos about them only assisted Jelly in growing, and while the amount of hate has tremendously dropped, they continue to grow without it, albeit not to the same degree. So perhaps, in the end, the commentary community targeting JellyBean was a sort of double-edged sword for them, as on one hand, it put a lot of eyes on them and aided their growth as a creator, but on the other hand, it formed a colossal hate mob against them, some of which took things too far and did awful things. All in all though, I'm glad that JellyBean came out on top and that the hate against them has heavily subsided, as I believed that it was utterly unwarranted from the very beginning. But with all that in mind, that concludes this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, please drop it a like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one. Once again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, I'll see you next one.